Weird thing about streaming is every time, like, even like just a second, the duration bar is completely full. Yeah, whenever it's streaming live. It's like completely red. And it's like continuously.
Everybody having a good day so far?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yes, okay. Today's a very special occasion in our masterclass recital time, in that we have a visit back from one of our alums. And those of you who know me well know that I get extra excited when somebody who was part of the program is coming back in their further studies and further work. Today, our group, I had it wrong. They were called Ensemble VI. They have now changed their name to Hextet. They're on a small tour in this area, and we're able to have them with us. They're graduate students from the Peabody Institute at the Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, and they're coming through. But I'm really happy. One of their cellists is Alex Wu, who was part of this program, traveled with us to Iceland, traveled with us to Boston, and also was part of the National Youth Orchestra of USA while he was here at Music Prep. So now he's working with his wonderful group. He's brought his colleagues with him to come perform for you. They've been performing a program of Tchaikovsky, Brahms, and others. And some of you do have programs here. They're going to perform for you today the Souvenir de Florence by Tchaikovsky, and also another work. And I'd like you to all give a warm welcome, and I'll let them do the rest of the talking. Give a warm welcome to Hextet from the Peabody Institute.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alex Wu. I'm a cellist, originally here from Philadelphia. My colleagues are going to go around and quickly introduce themselves, tell you their names, and also where they're from.
Hi everyone, I'm Tim. I also play the cello. I'm originally from California.
Hello everyone, I'm Christian. I play the viola and I'm from LA.
Hi, I'm Amelia. I also play the viola and I'm from Virginia. Hi, I'm Josie, also from LA, and I play the violin.
Hi, I'm Sang-woo. I play violin. I'm originally from South Korea.
Australian, right?
Not in the group.
That's also the national anthem of Australia. I had asked them to be available for you to ask questions, because you hear from us every week, your teachers, your coaches. We're all down the road a little further. These guys are just a few years ahead of where so many of you are. Most of our students, about 2/3 of our students, are in a chamber music group of some sort. All are in a chamber orchestra, and I'm hoping maybe they would have some questions, because I think there was some really excellent demonstration of, besides the playing, of how to work as a chamber music group. And I'll start out because I know you guys are shy and you won't get going without a starter. But I noticed how particularly the three of you on this side look to each other, and a little bit of a smiling and everything. And I think that's also, wouldn't you guys agree that that's sometimes the hardest thing, is while you're worrying about the music, to go look at your partners? No? Ethan. So anyway, I noticed that, and it's just really enjoyable, because I love it when I see you guys do that as well. So what do you do to prep for that? Is that just coming from who each of you are, or do you have a system?
So when we first started the piece, we definitely weren't as comfortable. So we adopted the term maximum looking as our goal, because it's more fun for everyone. It's more fun for us if we're looking at each other. And I think as we've played the piece more and performed the piece more, this being maybe 4th time that we've performed the whole program, it just is fun and becomes more natural the more you force yourself to do it at first. And
Great. I tend to agree. My background, as I told you guys earlier, was with a brass chamber ensemble, and the same thing, that even though as I say to these guys, I'm just a dumb brass player, to all these wonderful string players and pianists. But I also found that, like, when you're really into a groove with your partners in a group, that really does something for how you're having fun while you play, and also you bring out your better playing. Anybody got some questions or comments? Great, Jared.
Hi. First of all, that was really good. How, as like an ensemble, do you adjust to different spaces in terms of balance? I know this place is really dry, so like, how do you as an ensemble change and adapt?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's obviously very difficult because every space is very different. Honestly, the best thing to do is just to practice playing in a lot of different spaces. If you have access to a place that's very boomy and a place that's very dry, just alternate rehearsing in those spaces and running it, so that if you know ahead of time, the best is if you can play in the space right before you perform. Sometimes that's not always possible, but usually by the first bar or so, you can kind of adjust, and then if everybody knows, if you guys have practiced already how to deal with that kind of space, then you guys can just immediately adjust. And I think it doesn't have to be that complicated. Just decide if this is, if we're going to play sort of drier, or if we're going to, let it ring more. And that's really the only two modes that you can think about.
It's an interesting question you asked, because yesterday we were just playing at Arcadia in a hall that was extremely echoey, and so kind of the polar opposite of this. And so maybe you saw some areas where we adjusted well, and maybe it was trickier. But I think that it's another example of where just the skill of listening to the overall sound, not just your own, can help a lot and can give you clues on how to adjust in the moment.
Yeah, I would also say part of what makes like an experienced chamber musician is that you have to be quite responsive on the spot. A lot of the times, like Sang mentioned, you don't really have a lot of time to play and perform or practice in these spaces a lot. So just being able to adapt quickly and listen to others carefully is a big part of what we do.
Danae, did you have a question?
yeah, how long have y'all been a chamber group for? So we all came to, other than Josie, we all came to Peabody last year, and Alex, Sung, and I were randomly placed together in a group, and we played Trout Quintet with bass, and we really loved it. So we said, okay, let's keep working together, and as the year went on, we thought of this idea of a sextet. So really, the sextet as a whole started in August, but the three of us played longer, and we all met each other and said, this might be really fun, so since August.
You know, the configuration of the sextet is also quite unique because in general, when you do see sextets perform live, they're done by a professional string quartet with invited guests. Well, you know, we have the unique opportunity with the repertoire to be able to work consistently and also, you know, on a weekly basis that we can really explore these pieces, I think, or daily basis. We can explore these pieces in a way that's, I think, quite unique as compared to other groups.
So, how often would you guys have to rehearse to get to the level that you're at now?
Well, you know, obviously, you know, a lot of us are master's students. I'm doing a doctorate, and so we all have different schedules and we have different obligations. I think the general rule of thumb is just rehearse as much as possible. Some weeks are better than others. We try to have about like three to four consistently decided rehearsals per week, and then we'll add on as we feel that we need it.
And our rehearsals are like 2 to sometimes 3 hours.
Depending on how our schedules work, but I think if you can play together even just like 30 minutes every day, I think that's more important than having, you know, long rehearsals occasionally, because the most difficult thing is just learning how to listen to each other and learning each other's tendencies. And so, yeah, it's just as much as possible.
We also eat like every meal together too on a daily basis, so that might help.
I don't know if that helps, but
Our first performance was like 2 months after we started it. So 2 months times 4 rehearsals at 2 hours per week.
We also work with the coach weekly since we're all students still, so it's really nice that we get to play for even different professors
yeah, we
too.
play for multiple professors and things, so that is really nice.
That's great. Anybody else? Mr. Parker.
So you're all now at least all in graduate school. For those of our students that are thinking of going into music, from high school to undergraduate to graduate, what has helped you get to the next level?
Well, I'd say, I mean, all of us, you know, we enjoy playing chamber music together so much, but we've all come from vastly different backgrounds. I myself, after I graduated from high school here in Philadelphia, I went to Penn State University to pursue a degree in political science. At that point in my life, I really wanted to become a lawyer, but you know, as I had more time there, I really, you know, fell back in love with playing the cello and playing chamber music, and also being in orchestra. But I wanted to, after graduating from Penn State, you know, invest a couple more years into cello playing and then pursue graduate studies in cello. I think the most helpful thing I've taken away from this experience is that, especially in like the next few years of your education, really just taking the time to pursue your interests, both academic and artistic, whatever they are, and just being constantly curious to learn and being, you know, intellectually curious has been the most helpful thing in my studies in the past couple of years.
For me, I think across all those levels you mentioned, the most helpful thing has been trying to surround myself with other players that are better than me. I think that's where I've seen the most growth. And yeah, so I'd encourage anyone, I mean, even if music is not your primary interest, although I imagine it is for many of you, just trying to play with better people is always a great thing. So I'd encourage you to try to do that as much as you can.
From a technical standpoint, I think what really got me better from high school till now is, you know, super technical. I think just like practicing your scales, your arpeggios, like every single day as often as you can, you know, and like trying your best not to skip days, I think is what really brought me up. And I know all of you guys have scales, so.
I think also if you're thinking about going to conservatory, your main priority should be one, surrounding yourself with the highest level of people you can, and also your teacher. Your teacher is the #1 reason you should choose the school that you choose to go to, because they will completely help you mold your next 4 years as undergraduates and then getting into grad school. And make the same decision process for grad school. And then throughout my undergrad at Eastman, I think one of the things that helped me as a player the most was playing chamber music with totally different people. But I learned so much from those experiences. You are held to a much higher level, I think, when you play chamber music, because so many people depend on you. So that was my most biggest learning experience.
So I started playing like chamber music in high school, in early high school, and I think that has helped me the most in my career so far. You know, like everyone is saying, like playing with different people, playing with people of different levels, people from different backgrounds, different playing styles. It really helps you understand how music communicates, and like we've been saying, like adapting. You will catch on to adapting so well. So I would say if you can just keep doing, you know, like playing with other people, not just, practicing by yourself, practicing your scales, practicing your solo music. Repertoire is very important, but as much as you can, it's still so much more beneficial to be playing with other people as well.
Yeah, really pursue your passion projects, because I gotta tell you, like, practicing is tough and it sucks and it doesn't get better, and it, quite frankly, only gets worse every year. So you have to, you know, really just, even if you think it's, you know, maybe it won't pay out, like just go for projects and try to do things that you're enthusiastic about, and just try to really like have fun projects and really love what you're doing, because otherwise you just can't practice the amount that is required.
Anybody else? Well, I'd like to think, and I just a disclaimer that I did not bribe them to say things, but I mean, many of you know and your parents know that I say that probably next to your lesson and your practicing, your chamber music is maybe the most important thing you can be doing for yourself as a musician, and in many ways as a person who might not even be looking at music as a career because of the way you work together. And that's something that I learned somewhere along the line, and I find that in my years here and at other schools, that's where I see some of the most growth and the most understanding of what they're doing for young musicians. And I wish that on each of you, that this becomes more and more of a thing for you and lifts you all up, because that's kind of our purpose in running this program. But I want to thank you once again then for being with us. We're going to have to scoot everybody off to new rehearsals and other activities and put everybody back to work. But can you all thank
Thank you.
I just want to give a special shout out to Alex, because it's always nice when an alum comes back. Thank you once again. Thank you, everybody. Go to work.